Hi guys and welcome back. Today we will be taking a look at r/am I the butthole? And our special contestant today is, I don't know yet. Oh, okay. Some, nice wedding failures. Alrighty. My wife and I have our oh wait, I should read the title first. Am I the butthole for telling my wife that she hijacked our anniversary trip? What is wrong with me right now? It is hot in here. Okay! My wife and I have our 5-year wedding anniversary coming up this fall. To celebrate, I booked us a trip to the same place we took our mini moon after we got married. I figured it would be a nice way for us to celebrate 5 years of marriage. She loved the idea when I told her, and we were both looking forward to it. My mother-in-law's birthday happens to be the week before our anniversary. My wife was telling mother-in-law about our anniversary trip recently, and sorry. And mother-in-law started talking about how she always wanted to go there, but never had a chance. I guess my wife suggested that the two of them go there together for mother-in-law's birthday. My wife told me her plan later. Apparently her idea is to leave with mother-in-law in the week of her birthday, before our scheduled anniversary trip. Then they would wait for me to arrive. Mother-in-law's trip would overlap ours by 1 or 2 days. Mother-in-law would leave, and my wife and I would stay the remainder of our planned trip. So essentially my wife would be spending 7 to 10 days there, half with mother-in-law and half with me. When she told me the plan, I was less than enthused. Is that a word? I'm gonna change it. I was less than enthusiastic. I told her it felt like she's hijacking our anniversary trip and turning it into a mother-in-law birthday gift, when I was hoping that this would be something special just for the two of us. I told her I understand mother-in-law wants to visit this place, but why does it have to be literally the same trip as our anniversary? Why couldn't they just go there literally any other time? She said that it makes sense for them to overlap so that we can save a little money, but since my wife offered this as a gift to mother-in-law, we're paying for her trip, so we aren't saving anything. She also just assumed that I'd be okay with taking care of our 2 kids while she and mother-in-law were gone, since mother-in-law was supposed to watch our kids during the trip. Now we need to find other childcare for them too. I told her that this all just seems a little too complicated, and it would be easier if we kept our anniversary trip and a mommy-daughter trip separate. My wife did not take my criticism of her plan well. She claimed I was being selfish for wanting to make this trip about us. Which, yeah, it's an anniversary trip, not a family vacation. She said she wants to do something nice for her mother-in-law for her birthday. And since she's always wanted to visit this location, it just makes sense to do it all at once. She claims I'm being a jerk for simply not agreeing with her, and that I'm being selfish since mother-in-law would really like this. She hasn't booked anything yet for the part of the trip with her mom, but she wants to ASAP. I've been trying to talk her out of it, but she just keeps digging her heels in and saying that this is what she is going to do. I really, really do not want mother-in-law on any part of this anniversary trip, even for 1 or 2 days. I know we won't be sharing a room or anything, but that's not the point. I thought this was going to be a special trip for my wife and I. She turned it into something completely different. So here's the thing. At first, I really thought that the partner was being weird as hell, because it would have been fine, right? The mother-in-law tags along a little bit. But they had a conversation about it, and he, who I, who I assume to be a guy, was saying, I don't really want that. I want this to be just about us, which is completely valid. And then afterwards, the mother-in-law was supposed to take care of the kids, but since she isn't there for the 1 or 2 days, basically, they're going to be throwing the kids around. And, yeah, I don't... Everyone kind of sucks here. Like, I think the best solution, if he doesn't want to spend any time with mother-in-law, then what he could do is the mother-in-law goes there, then she comes back, takes the kids, and then he goes and with his wife for the rest of the trip. That could be a possible option. But yeah, no, everyone. Moving on. Am I the butthole for insisting my brother not bring his husband to my wedding? Straight off the bat, I'm gonna say yes, it does sound like you're gonna be the butthole, but I know it sounds mean, but my brother-in-law seems to be really discriminatory towards us for being a straight couple. Sorry, just wanted to let that sink in. I am bisexual, but fallen in love with a man I'm going to marry. My brother and his husband were friends with my ex-girlfriend. I'm still friends with her, she's lovely, but we didn't work as a couple. For 5 years now, I've been dating, let's call him Jack. We've decided to get married in August, and have been planning for a while. The wedding is not big, less than 50 guests total. And we're going to give everyone in the bridal and a groominal? I'm not sure. Party's a +1, but no one else. The thing is, my brother is one of my bridesmen. I have a maid of honor and 3 bridesmen. My husband-to-be has a best man and a mixed-sex party. This last week, I went over to my family... Sorry, my brain doesn't work. I went over to my family to hang out. Cousins played board games, all the adults had drinks, typical big family hangout. But my brother-in-law was a bit too drunk and said some crappy things. And it's not the first time I've heard them, just the first time in maybe half a year. He said that I was a traitor to our people for marrying a straight white man. Where white, Lamau. He said I broke up with my ex because I was ashamed of being... Whoa. Big boy words. Actually, no. Not big boy words. Being... the F slur. He was also comparing my fiancé with my ex. Why would you date such an ugly man after such a pretty girl? He's so poor. You had a rich, gay girlfriend. Not true. We're all middle class. Eventually, my brother took him home, and my fiancé took me home. I told him the next day if he couldn't apologize to us as a couple and stop being so heterophobic, he couldn't come to our wedding. My brother is saying he was drunk and he'll behave, and our family is backing him up, telling me to let it go. But I have yet to get an apology from brother-in-law. My brother is threatening to not be in the wedding party, and I would hate that. But I would hate to include his crappy husband in my wedding more. I told my brother I'd save him a piece of cake if he doesn't come. Am I the a-hole for insisting brother-in-law cannot come without an apology to both me and my husband-to-be? No, definitely not. At first, I was like, okay, well, insert pre-opinion here. No, he's a terrible person, and your brother is enabling him, and I just think it's funny that she said heterophobic when he's just being a huge a-hole, and ew. But, yeah, no, he definitely has to apologize to you and your husband for that. Well, husband-to-be. And, yeah, no, not cool. I would have slapped him. And being drunk does not excuse any behavior at all. Best of luck to you and your future husband. And I hope that this gets resolved, because that sucks. This sounds like a good one. Let's do it. Am I the a-hole for accepting a free place to stay for college and not asking my and not asking for my stepbrother to have the same? I know how to breathe. Okay. I got accepted into the college of my choice in another state. Almost immediately after I told my family, my paternal grandparents offered to let me stay in a house they owned, so I wouldn't have to pay rent. I accepted. My mom and stepdad asked my grandparents about my stepbrother staying there also, since he was going to a college close to mine. My grandparents said the offer was only open to me, their grandson. This was badly received by my mom, stepdad, and stepbrother, who all think he should be offered the same offer. I have been under a lot of pressure from my mom, stepdad, and stepbrother to advocate for him to stay in the house with me or to turn down the offer if they refuse. I don't want to do this. Am I the a-hole? I'm going to say no, simply for the fact that it is not this person's responsibility to do anything. This is good for them, but even so, the grandparents are definitely being the a-hole, and the parents a little, because they're trying to force their child to speak to someone in their for their gain, simply. I get the stepbrother, their brothers, they just, you know. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law not to add a slab of butter to her hot dogs in front of my 7-year-old? I don't know. Let's find out. My sister-in-law, let's call her Barb, has a habit of putting butter and mayo on her food. Like, it's not uncommon when she eats a white sauce pasta. She'll, oh my gosh, why can't I read today? Wait, I can't read any day. Oops. Sauce pasta, she'll add half a stick of butter to her plate and have it melt in. Or she's eating biscuits from Popeyes to dip it in melted butter as well. My 7-year-old, my daughter is now 7, and we don't want her to pick up any unhealthy habits. My husband was making hot dogs, and I know Barb was going to add butter to her hot dog buns. My husband already adds some and toasts them, but again, she was going to add a lot more. I pulled her to the side, and I am like, hey, Barb, do you mind adding the butter to your hot dogs in the kitchen? I don't want Emily, my daughter, to start doing it too. She then is like, you're putting your 7-year-old daughter on a diet? I'm like, no. We know that she likes to copy people, especially adults, and we would rather not have her do that. Barb is then like, why? So she won't become fat like me? She starts raising her voice. She says there's nothing wrong with being fat, and that I'm giving my daughter an eating disorder by restricting her. She then brings up the fact that she is a nurse, and she knows more than doctors, and guarantees me the anxiety and depression I'm creating by preventing her from eating what she wants is way more harmful than whatever cholesterol a bit of butter would give her. And that she, Emily should be able to make her own decisions, that if she wants to eat hot dogs with butter, she can eat hot dogs with butter. I am like, Barb, if you have kids and want to teach them to do that, that is fine, but please respect my wishes. Barb gets angry and confronts my husband. My husband talks to Barb, and eventually she packs him of the food from the grill and leaves. Was I wrong here? If my daughter was 10, I wouldn't mind at all, but these are crucial ages, and I just asked her to do it in the kitchen. I would say everyone here definitely sucks, a little at least, but Barb is overreacting. But again, this is a tough one. I'm gonna look in the comments for some assistance. Yes, the a-hole. It's on you to parent your kid, not on Barb. Okay. Supreme Court. Okay. Yeah, well, I would advise to let your child eat whatever your child wants to, but also that you should teach your kid not to copy other adults, because even if adults seem to know what they're doing, it's not always great for the kid. You need to teach your kid how to have good judgment over what she does. This is gonna be good. Am I the a-hole for walking out the door and driving away when I was told I need to do the dishes? This has happened. One more time. This has happened this weekend. I, 28F, have been married to my husband, 30M, for 6 years. We don't have any children. This weekend we were visiting his family. He is the oldest among his siblings, and there's 9 of them? 6 brothers and 3 sisters in total, youngest being 16. Everyone lives with their partners or roommates in either rented or owned accommodation, except the youngest and 2 brothers, 23 and 26, still reasonable ages. Every other weekend, they all come around my mother-in-law's house together with their partners. So, 16 people this weekend, including my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Unfortunately, on Sunday, my mother-in-law wasn't feeling well, so she stayed in her bedroom to rest. She normally does all the cooking in the house when we visit her. We make sure we also do shopping and buy groceries and snacks for the family. I also make sure I get separate food for myself, as I have a lot of allergies and intolerances and dietary requirements. Most of the time it's not an issue, and I would just put my food in the oven when the cooking is almost done or eat later. Sunday morning comes, and I was about to make myself some breakfast when all my in-laws and their partners start moaning. I read that very wrong. Start moaning that they are hungry, including my husband. He can cook, and does it well. I have reminded them that they know where the fridge and oven are, but apparently they were too difficult to find. They ended up begging me to cook something for them, and I had no choice but to agree. Expecting them to help me since, they're adults. It took me 3 hours to prepare the food for them, and they were moaning about having food at different times or the food getting cold. It was simple eggs with bacon and some toast. I finished and started making food for myself, and all I wanted is to eat, as I was super hungry, and just have a nap somewhere, as I was really tired from all that cooking. Halfway through my meal, my sister-in-law approached me and asked why am I making more food and not washing the dishes. I was taken aback and asked if she seriously wants me to wash the massive pile of dishes and pans after all this cooking when there's at least 15 other adults in the house that are perfectly capable to do it. My sister-in-law informed me that in their house, whoever does the cooking must also do the dishes. That's a stupid rule. I got annoyed as I have just started eating my food and was super tired. I told her and my other in-laws that it's no wonder their mom is not feeling well after doing all the work around the house and getting no help from her adult children. I have ended up putting my breakfast in a takeaway box, packing my bags, and leaving the house to drive home, as I was still expected to do the dishes. My husband stayed behind and hasn't returned. Him and his siblings are calling me an a-hole for driving away and leaving the dishes undone. Oh my gosh, no, absolutely not the a-hole. No. I'm so sorry. I didn't know 16 people could be that entitled. Well, 15. Yeah. Not cool. And your husband too? He should have helped you with the cooking. He's your husband. Yeah, no, I don't know if you've heard, but you should have, like, this, but you should 100% get a divorce. Like, I know I probably shouldn't say that, but this sounds like a good time. Before you have kids, before you get any further on in life. This is the good time. Anyways, that's gonna end it for today, so yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.